Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Chris McGee alongside Robert Ory, Big Game, James Worthy, Mike Trudell out there in OKC. Lakers fall to the Thunder in Game 1 of Round 2. We knew coming in the Lakers would have to shoot the basketball really well and take care of the basketball. They shot 41%. They turned it over 18 times. That led to 20 points. OKC just doesn't give you a lot of room to breathe, Big Game, and not a lot of room for error. They play 11 guys. They send a lot at you. They hit 13 threes. They shot 43% from downtown. 8 of those threes came from their bench, and they won that bench battle as well, 34-15.
Yeah, there's no breaks with Oklahoma. You have to have your antennas up for 48 minutes. It only takes them, 60 seconds, 90 seconds to really, turn a game around. You can't turn it over. They come at you so many different ways. But I thought tonight's game, for a Game 1, I thought the Lakers, held their own for a while, Geeter. In the first half, they fought well. They got some support from LeBron and, Marcus. But Oklahoma's they're just too good, man. They come at you in waves and they rebound the ball well. They turn you over. And the Lakers fell victim to that, especially, toward the second quarter and most of the third.
I thought the game plan was great. You think about it, they held SGA under 20 points. Their highest point total was, 24 out of Chet. And for me, I know sometimes, we just shot the ball poorly. You shot the ball poorly for a reason. And same thing applies to the Lakers. You look at the way Marcus and Austin Reaves shot the ball. They were 7 for, 31 between the two of them. And if your two guards have that, that's not going to work. And you told Luke Kennard, and that's 1 for 4. So that's just a bad shooting for the guards. So, it's the first game on the road. I know the Lakers recently played in the playoff series, but they still had a lot of days off. So hopefully next game, those two guys can shoot a little bit better, because just keep, sometimes when you lose a game, you scrap everything. But I don't think they need to scrap anything. They just need to shoot the ball better. Yep. So I think the game plan, the whole SGA, how they did, it was perfect.
You look at these margins, right, and OKC wins every quarter, +5 after 1, +3 in the second. So that gets you an 8-point lead. Then they go +4 in the third. That gets you a 12-point lead. And then they win the fourth by 6. You end up losing by 18. They just wear you down and they win the quarters, James.
And one of your comments, and we were just watching the game, is we just need to win a quarter.
Yeah.
You kept saying that, just win one quarter. And that's the way you have to try to play. And I thought the Lakers came close to doing that. As Rob said, they just didn't shoot the ball as well. But Oklahoma will come at you with their bench. Guys like, and also guys like McCain, who's just a nightmare. When their bench comes in, they don't lose a step. In fact, they play a little bit more aggressively defensively. So the Lakers, they didn't shoot the ball well. I think if they had shot better, it'd been a closer game. It's one game. You can't just be bad on yourself, be down on yourself about this game. You look at the good, and you try to correct what you need to.
Yeah, you look at OKC, 6 players, 4 of those on the bench with the plus double-digit plus-minus. Let's look at their trio. No Jay Will. A.J. Mitchell fills in. And
shot is like a turnover. They shot like 6 bad shots, and I'm not going to call people out, but they had 6 shots that they were ill-advised, which led to fast break point. And you can't have that. And you got to get guys to get back. And the other thing, you have to box out. We always talk about pay attention to details. There's so many things when it comes to the second round of the playoffs. that you need to up your antennas and pay attention to detail. You got to box out. You got to control the ball. You can't give up on plays because there's a couple plays where guys kind of assume that their teammate was going to get it. So there's a lot of things that go into effect. But, you know, overall, I would give, you know, Lakers a B+ for this game. You know, I grade hard.
Yeah, you do.
You know that. But I felt like this game plan was good. They just didn't make shots.
And James, listen, there are just moments in the game where you feel you could turn it or get the break to go to your side. Jackson Hayes gets the and one. It gets reviewed. It ends up being a charge. Lakers with like 30 seconds left have the ball in the third, chance to win the quarter. Marcus has a three. He misses. Go down the other end. A.J. Mitchell, 4-point play. Now you're down 12 going into the fourth, and their crowd is very involved.
I think they got it down to 4 at one point.
They're right there. Yeah.
And those are the moments that you really got to take a deep breath and really exercise good execution. Like when you're chipping away the lead, you get it to 4. You can't afford to take an ill-advised shot, a long three, a quick three. You got to make the defense work. And I'm not saying they didn't try to do that, but I just think Oklahoma is so quickly, you know, to put points on the board after a turnover or after a long three, and we just couldn't knock any shots down. We couldn't tie it or go ahead. That I thought when we got it to 4, I was like, okay, we're doing a pretty good job of chipping away. But, yeah, you can't make any mistakes after that.
Listen, we showed you the graphic in the pregame show. Austin Reaves, in his 2 games against Houston, he averaged 18.5 points, but the efficiency was not there. He was able to get to the line, but the struggles continue against this Oklahoma City team and the way that they defend him, Rob. Just 8 points, 3 of 16 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. How concerned are you with the struggles and especially the way that they defend him?
I'm not really concerned about it because you think about it, it's only 3 games in that he's actually played against live competition. And I mean live competition, I mean other people other than his teammates, because that's a different story. And I think a lot of this he has to be understanding that, yo, this game is not going to be called like regular season games. And you can go down a list of people, JT, James Harden, Shai, a lot of these guys, they assume that they're going to get those calls that they get during the regular season. They're not. He has to put that out of his mind and just get to the hole and just play, because they're not going to give you calls like that. And I think for Austin also, he needs to take the easy shots. So, you know, one easy shot he thought he had, the guy came out of nowhere and blocked the shot. So you got to be leery of that. So, but I just think with him, you got those 3 games to knock off the rust. I think he'll be better next game.
No question. I just think, you know, offensively, I think he will, you know, he'll redeem himself. It's defensively is where, you know, they really go at him. And I think, you know, that's where he needs to be careful with fouls and things of that nature. But I think Austin Reaves is going to find a way to get to the line. I think he'll navigate and get his shots. He's a smart player. And so, you know, it's game 1. He had opportunities where he had shots. They just can't make shots, man. It's a tough night.
So not great news. Jared Vanderbilt, and we talked about it in the pregame show. This is a series we thought he would get minutes for sure. We thought JJ would go to that 9-man rotation because of the athleticism, the length, and his ability to play tough and just muck it up and cause some havoc and some problems. So this is a series where you were going to have to use him, especially defensively, and the full dislocation of the right pinky, Rob. So not good news, and it looked very painful, and we hope he's okay.
Yeah, it looked very painful. It's one of those things where you go in and try to block the shot. And usually guys are so used to hitting the backboard full hand, like boom. He caught the edge and that pinky was on his way down. So his hand went one way, the pinky went the other way, and you don't want that. And the thing about it is, it's the pain tolerance, because he's, like James pointed out, it was his right hand, he left-handed. And so hopefully, you know, they can, like, you know, I don't know how.
Tape on it.
I don't know anything about a full dislocation, but sometimes you can pop that thing back in and go. I don't know. So because we're going to need Vandy. We're going to need his size and athleticism.
Yeah, I hope it's something they can manage. A lot of times you could take two fingers together and kind of make it work, but you know, still he uses his hands a lot.
So that's a big part of his game.
That's going to be an issue. It has to be a nice pad on there too, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not, you know, so bad that he can't recover and play, you know, the rest of the series.
All right, guys, time to hear from Coach J.J. Redick, brought to you by your Toyota dealers.
JJ, I'm sure you have to go back and watch, but where do you think the turning point or kind of the key difference was tonight?
I don't think there was a turning point. I think it was a general theme throughout the night. When we made game plan mistakes, they hurt us. I thought the Houston game 5 was the most game plan mistakes we made in a playoff game so far. We obviously lost that game. You're playing the world champs. Your margin for error in terms of mistakes is not that high. You can make mistakes. Basketball's a game full of mistakes. There's just too many tonight. We got to clean that up. But there were some good things. We won expected score. Held Shai under 20. He ended up with 7 turnovers. The guys played hard. We just got to do a better job with execution. It comes down to just the attention to detail on that, and I know we'll clean things up and be better.
Did you find the execution errors to be primarily offensive or primarily defensive?
Primarily defensive. There were some things we did offensively that weren't necessarily what we had talked about, and sometimes ran a set and didn't do what we're supposed to do. But I mean that always is going to happen. I think the game plan defensively, when whether it was a coverage thing or Shai coverage, it just seemed like every time we didn't execute, they hurt us, and then. The other point of that was, when they did get an offensive rebound, they absolutely killed us. We didn't do a good job of building back out on the offensive rebound.
There was a report that Jed Vanderbilt suffered a full dislocation of his finger. How is he doing?
I just talked to him. He's in as good a spirits as you can be in this situation. Obviously frustrated with what happened.
In that moment, just like, I don't know, can you just sort of describe the amount of pain he seemed to be in? I mean, from where we were sitting, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked. I went to go check on him because it just looked bad. I mean, he was audibly screaming, and knew he had done something. So we're obviously disappointed that happened, and it's a freak injury.
JJ, could you talk about sort of like the job that the guys did on Shai, and then obviously you said held them under 20, and they still, outplayed you guys or outscored you guys by that much. Is that just sort of a testament to their incredible depth?
Oh no, I mean, look, I think when we did our Shai execution, we did a good job. The rotations out of that weren't always great. They got good players. They shot 16 for 28 on non-paint twos. Again, we did some good things. I'm not that 108-90 doesn't matter to me. We lost a game.
AR obviously didn't have his typical kind of a night. Is this just refining his rhythm after being out for a month, or what kind of do you make of that?
Yeah, he didn't play well, but he's going to bounce back. He's a great player.
You guys held them to 108. I mean, I'd say that probably would be well below their season average, their postseason average. Where do you think you can generate more offense in this series?
We got to make shots. I mean, that's we got to make shots. 10 for 30 from 3. Austin goes 3 for 16. Thought Luke's passed some really good looks down early. Then don't turn the ball over. We had 10 turnovers in the second half. I mean, that's the other part.
There's that third quarter stretch, and I think Austin gets an open 3 in the wing, misses what it cut it to 3, and then they go down and kind of get the 6-point swing and then a steal. Is with just how potent OKC is, those margins, how difficult to contain are those bursts?
Yeah, we hung around all night. I think we did a good job managing their runs. The game never felt out of reach to the very end. So we managed their runs.
JJ, what did you think about kind of the shot quality that you guys were able to generate?
Again, we won expected score, so it was good enough to win.
And then you mentioned Luke kind of passing out some shots. I know you're constantly kind of trying to encourage him to take some of those open shots. Like, what do you kind of tell him now in the postseason to try to get him to take some of those that you...
Same message that he's heard from me every single day.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
On the media?
Well, I just thought we had some game plan breakdowns, on what we've been preparing for, and we had some breakdowns. And they're going to test you, obviously. They're going to see how many times they can make you have game plan, breakdowns or game plan discipline. And we had a few, almost too many, obviously, versus a team like this. And we know what they're capable of doing. They can go on a run where it's like, okay, we got it right here, 2-possession game, 3-possession game, and then boom. It's a double-digit lead, and that's what some of the great teams do. So just can't have compound mistakes over it.
Those things, is just the actual film itself help for the cleanup, or is it just the knowledge?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we have enough knowledge. I mean, we already been in the postseason now. 7 games tonight was our 7th game in the postseason. So the knowledge, but we will see it on film and see ways we can be better. And obviously they're going to make adjustments too, because shit, that's what championship teams do. So we have to be ready for what they bring to the table as well.
You guys' ball protection was better in the first half than in the second half. Would you say that was some of the game plan discipline at your guys' end, or do you think they were starting to maybe get a little bit of a better read on what you guys were doing?
No, we just got to be better with the ball.
Offensively, LeBron, obviously when you guys lose Luka, Austin miss a month, it's going to be tough. Just what are you seeing on that end of the floor right now? Where is it sticky, and how can you guys clean stuff up on that end?
So yeah,
where do you think the offensive issues are coming from right now? Obviously, that's a great defense.
Issues coming from?
Yeah.
We have a guy that averaged 37 a game. What do you average, 35 this year? 33 and a half?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you asking?
Okay, well, I'm asking, you guys...
There's the issues right there. We're playing against the #1 defensive team in the NBA, as far as the ratings and everything. And when you play against great defenses, you have to have guys that can attract multiple defenders on the floor at all time. Even I felt like we had great shots. We got some great shots tonight. We missed them. But when you play against the world champions, having a guy that averages 34, 6 and 8 and 8 and 9, whatever the hell that's special. So we have to be better at finding ways to get to the blender, finding ways to get to the paint. We know they're a paint swarming team, so we have to be better with get into the paint, not turn the ball over, and then shooting with confidence. But I feel like we got some really good looks. But shit.
Tonight was the first time that Shai was held under 20 all season. You guys held them as a team, so went away. Just what was working, just defensively, game plan wise, and execution wise?
We're down 1. Same. Shai versus the Lakers is Lakers versus the Thunder. We're down 1-0. That's the main thing. Keep the main thing, and that's who win or lose. That's all it's about.
I think Austin's not a guy that you have ever really worried about as a teammate, but are there other things you guys can do to help him find a rhythm? Obviously, he's only 3 days back.
Well, he was out a month. So, we hoping, and we know he's going to make shots and make plays, but that's tough. You're out a month towards the end of the season, so, obviously, we were trying to fast track, him getting back on the floor and doing the things that he was doing before the injury, whatever the case may be, but he's out a month, so rightfully so if he has some games where he's missing shots or whatever the case may be, but his presence alone helps us no matter what.
Jared has been such an important part of this team in the locker room. So obviously he gives you guys a toughness and edge on the court. What was that like, just seeing him in that amount of pain? Have you had a chance to talk to him at all?
He's tough as nails, so if Vando was in pain, then something actually really happened, so it sucks.
You've got a lot of success in the post, and just assume that takes a toll, though, just on an offensive player as well, just energy-wise, is it not? So when do you decide when to go to it, and how often in the course of the action?
When the set is called. I do it, we have a lot of sets, how to get guys involved, how to get me involved, but ultimately how can we, best, break down their defense as much as possible. But no toll for me. I'm fine.
All right, big game. And Rob, let's talk a little LeBron. Listen, led all scores of 27. You got an efficient game from LeBron, 12 of 17. Got to love his energy from the jump, 3 for 6, 4 rebounds. And
still at 41, to be asked to come back in, kind of reminds me of the Godfather movie. As soon as I get out there, pull me back in.
Pull you back in.
And he's a leader, and I think he did a really good job tonight of setting an example of, how they need to play. Didn't sustain it over 48 minutes as a team, but LeBron is capable of leading, and he did tonight. He got physical, he got downhill, just didn't have enough shots made in order to keep it close enough for LeBron to kind of, secure a win. But they had a good start, good tendencies, a few corrections, and some less mishaps, and they'll be in the fourth quarter. It's what they need. They want to keep it close. Sometimes these spurts that Oklahoma puts on you just comes in waves. They had it 4, down to 4 one time, then 7, 8 points later in like a minute. Oklahoma was back up. So, yeah, I take some positivity from this game and just correct the things that you need to correct for game 2.
I think with LeBron, what I like best about this game is he didn't really have to exert a lot of energy to score. You know, when he was direct pass, he did it. When he had the post-ups, he did it. So think about it. If we can get that same game out of him and have some others make some shots, we'd be pretty good. And the thing about, you don't have to have LeBron carry the load at his age and his number of miles on his body. But I like the fact that he took 17 shots. He was 12 for 17 efficient, 3 for 6 from the three-point line. And I could tell, like, if you look at the threes that he made, you know, I always look at the form. That first three he made, he had some lift on his jump shot, and then he had some more lift, and then he got to the point where he was like, oh, I just made a couple, and then he didn't do the normal things that he normally does. I'm sure those are things he's going to correct because he's such a guy who details everything from A to B to A to Z. So I think he's be fine the next game. I just need everybody else to step up their game.
I think everybody else is key because LeBron's 12 for 17 after a few days off. Now you go to every other day in this series. You're playing.
Yeah, every other day, and it's going to require that LeBron continues to do what he does. But I think, you know, look, Austin Reaves not going to have a bad shooting game, you know, the next game, I don't think. I think JJ is a coach that will make adjustments to find some shots for Luke Kennard. So, you know, I think guys like Jake LaRavia is a guy who's very capable if he could, you know, continue to be aggressive. I don't know what's going to happen with Vanderbilt, but like I said pregame, I don't mind seeing, you know, Smith or somebody come off the bench for a couple of minutes. If they can get hot and knock down some threes, that would help us. We'll see what the adjustments will be in game 2, Gator.
Rui Hachimura Reaves with Mike Trudell in the media.
Austin, what did you just see overall? Like, what stood out to you on the court, both ends, in OKC, kind of pulling away late?
You know, just making a couple mental mistakes. Felt like we got some good looks, we just didn't make them. And you know, every time, if you watch them throughout the year, every time you make a couple mistakes in a row, they capitalize on those.
I know you're always your biggest critic if you don't hit shots. So just where did you feel like your game was at, and where are the places that you wanted to have it be better in game 2?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, the easy thing is to make more shots. I got to, you know, my spots multiple times and just missed a couple of easy shots. But, you know, for the most part, you know, you got to limit the turnovers, lay pressure, the ball really well. You know, just got to give us an opportunity to get a shot on goal every possession.
At what point you were down on the floor for a few seconds? Was that the oblique or?
Nah, I'm good.
It was a 4-point game with about 6 minutes to go in the third before they were able to break it open. I know you're not looking for little victories, you're trying to get a win in the game, but was that evidence of those 2.5 quarters of you guys finding things that can work against us?
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal is to win, and when you don't, you know, it sucks. But like I said, there's some things in this game where we can go back and watch and see, you know, things that worked and things that didn't work and clean them up and, you know, kind of get after that chess game.
How important is margin of error in a series like this, especially against a team with the defensive tenacity of Oklahoma State?
Yeah, I just said it. Once you make a couple mental mistakes, it seems like they take advantage of every one of them. So just got to be sharp every single possession.
Did you have a lot of friends and family and people here?
Yeah, I had some people here.
Austin, LeBron was talking about the difficulty of when you're out a month at this time of the season, right, to just find a rhythm and all that. Can you tell the difference from 1 game, 2 game, 3 games? Is it wind? Is it all of the above? And how do you feel? How many do you feel like it until you find a comfort level?
I mean, nobody cares about that, and I got to go out there and play better.
When you don't play to the expectations that you set for yourself, how do you reset? How do you just mentally move forward to the next one?
Watch film, see what see what the game gives you, and like I said, learn from that, and move on. It's not going to do us any good thinking about that.
All right, let's go back out to OKC and hear from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the podium.
Shai, you guys held them to 37 in the second half. What did you learn defensively over the course of the game?
Yeah, honestly, we were just like more ourselves in the second half. Took us a little bit to get into it tonight, to get back to what we were. Obviously, a little bit of a break, a little bit of rest is expected, but we eventually got to it and were able to do enough to win tonight.
Shay, Mark was just sitting here talking about the curveballs they threw. It's not like you haven't seen some of the coverages they were throwing at you, but it is the first time you've seen maybe something like that this postseason. What'd you make of your own processing throughout the game?
Yeah, I was like loose with the ball, had a lot of turnovers, but like I think that goes into just to like the rust of not playing for a little bit. They were obviously very aggressive, but I feel like for most of the night we got great looks. Sometimes it didn't go down, but we got great looks. It felt like we generated good offense for guys that can make plays, and just continuing that process, because that's ultimately what's going to come down to, like just betting on us getting the best look for our team and living with the results. Like, it's not always going to go our way, but we give ourselves the best chance if we do so.
It felt like some of the best looks were Chet at the end of a clock or just finishing plays. And I know since year one when he got here, you guys were calling him a lobster, but it doesn't feel like you guys have really used him to that extent this much until this year. What's sort of gone into that?
I think, like, just as the time goes on, playing with somebody, understand their tendencies, you get better. Like, for me personally, I've just become better as a playmaker, finding him in those spots. And then it's just like, one of my coaches always said, like, the tallest guy on the floor is always open. Like, you can always throw it up in the air and he'll go get it. And I try to use that as much as I can.
You mentioned a few games ago that the worst version of Chet that we're going to see is today's version because he only gets better. Just when did you kind of realize, once he walked in the doors, that he had a different level of work ethic?
The first day, when he walked in the doors, he just, you could just tell, like, how much he cares about the game and his game. Like, he really wants to maximize his potential. And that's all it comes down to, really and truly. Like, a guy that wants to be the best version of himself gives himself the best chance to get there, and usually it works out for guys like that. He just wants it really badly.
Shai, we know as a team you all have one common goal, but I wanted to ask you about Jarrett McCain and his time that he's been here. What have you seen from him? It seems like he's really kind of stepped into and embraced his role.
Yeah, he's been great. When his number's called, he's been ready. It feels like every time, which is really hard to do. Coming to a new situation, having to move and all that stuff, all the outside distractions. But he's had 2 feet in the circle, we call it. But yeah, he's a great teammate. Obviously, a really good player, and he's out there for a reason. He helps us win, and he's helped us win multiple games and big time games this season, and he did so again tonight.
All right, here we go. Western Conference semifinal schedule. Thunder up 1-0 after winning tonight, 108-90. Just one day off, and then we're back at it Thursday, 6:30 game on Prime, and then the series shifts to Los Angeles, 5:30 on ABC, Saturday, Monday, 7:30 on Prime. Rob, you going to break it down for us? What, a little DeAndre?
Yeah, we're going to have a little DA. We're going to need more DA action. You know, he
foul trouble.
Yeah, foul trouble. He didn't normally shoot his like 60%, 50% tonight, but I'm going to show you what he can do, though. In this breakdown, we're going to show you what Luke Kennard is coming off this double screen. What's best about Ayton is, like, he's probing. He goes in and sets a hard step into the paint, establish himself to get the shot. LeBron doesn't pass it the way he doesn't just stay there. He keeps moving. He gets out of LeBron's way, but gets into an open spot. So now I'm a power dribble, go up, little jump hook right there in the paint. And you know Hartenstein's not known for blocking shots, so that's a good mover. Now look, he's going to go over the top right here. What most guys would try to dunk this. He did the smart thing. Bring it down, gather yourself, and do what? Go power back up. Nice little hook off the glass right there. Like I said, Hartenstein is not the shot block. Now LeBron is going to bully ball. Right here, he goes up, he misses shot, but this is the part I like. You always hit before you get hit. Ayton goes and hits 1, 2, 3 guys, knocks them all the way, but more importantly, he doesn't bring it down to where they can swipe him. He keeps it high, goes up off the glass, points, offensive rebound, point. Now, pick and roll situation. Set the pick and roll, kind of wait. He's in the same path with Marcus Smart. Now he has the option to pass it to Vanderbilt, who's cutting, or he has the option to shoot it. I'd rather for him to shoot it because you money right there. He decides to go up and shoot it, no hesitation. I like it when he just shoots and not hesitate. Now he's going to show his defensive prowess right here. here, like stand down. You know what, you're going to try to get this shot off? I'm going to follow this up with a block shot. You know, we don't know. Ayton, we always talk about Jackson Hayes block shot, but Ayton, low-key is a good shot blocker. We need more of that because if he's able to do that and stay out of foul trouble, we might have a chance, Skeeter.
Jump in there, James.
Yeah, if Ayton can sustain that kind of effort defensively, I agree. Offensively, I'd like for him to be a little bit more aggressive, especially when he gets us in the paint. He's a willing passer out to the three-point shooter, but sometimes when he gets it in there, man, I like that shot right there. I like drop steps, jump hooks, anything to try to, you know, get a bucket and a foul. But I like his attitude, his aggressiveness. 4 fouls was, you know, tough to pick up those fouls early. Maybe don't reach as much, try to play it with positioning. But I think Ayton is still key to the Lakers' success of what he can do on both ends of the court in the paint.
You got to be happy with the playoffs that he's had so far, Rob. Effort and everything on both ends.
Yeah, I think, look, think about it. How many guys in the NBA playoffs right now averaging double-figure rebounds?
Yeah.
This guy is going out, he's grabbing rebounds, grabbing offensive rebounds, being efficient, being effective, and more importantly, he has to stay engaged. If they keep him engaged, that's the only way the Lakers are going to have a chance to go to the next round.
All right, we're going to break, and we'll be back on the other side to wrap things up as the Lakers fall to OKC. Excellent.
Hey, Rui. JJ and LeBron talked about kind of game plan, mistakes and breakdowns is sort of the key tonight. What does that mean to you, and where were a couple examples of those from the game?
I think the game execution, you know, how we got in Shai, actually, you know, as you guys saw that we were trying to double team, you know. I think a couple times we were just, you know, execute the, you know, who's coming the double team, you know, from where, you know, we didn't communicate well, you know, and stuff. You know, I made a couple mistakes on that too. So, yeah, I think that's the main things that they'll talk about. But I mean, you know, he scored, you know, 18 points, you know, which, you know, I think he hasn't scored less than 20 points in like a couple of years or something, right? So, yeah, I mean, we did a solid job, but I think we could be better.
Obviously, OKC is well aware of how well you shoot the ball, and they try to really close out hard. It seemed like you did get some threes to go later, but is there any difference in how they're playing you and the places that you can attack?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you guys see the lineups, you know, they got a couple small guys, you know. I think we have a size, we're bigger than them, so we got to use our size more, you know. I know they're good at, you know, shrink the defense, but I think you know, Braun got a couple, you know, touches in the, you know, in the post, you know, but I think I can be, you know, I can involve in that more, you know, and then Marcus can, you know, post up more, you know, DA using his size, you know. I think those kind of stuff we can use them more.
All right, here we go. Game 2 of this series. It's Thursday. It's in OKC. It's at 6:30. It's going to be on Prime, but you know where to go for your pregame. That's on Spectrum Sports, and it starts at 5:30. And then right after the game, come over to us for your post-game coverage. Guys, if you have a couple keys, let's talk about them now. We got under a minute and a half, but, you know, for me, I look at this, you know, offensively, you're not going to have Luka Doncic, and you got to find ways to score points. You held that OKC team to 108. Pretty darn good defense, James, in game 1 of this series.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good things to look at to take away from this game. Your defense was solid. You held Shai to, under his average. You didn't shoot the ball very well. You can try to eliminate their bench points. But, yeah, you just have to clean up a little bit of execution and play the same tough defense in game that you played and knock down some shots. You're right there.
For me, it's just, you know, you had 17 turnovers. I'm good with 12 turnovers. Cut that by 5. You didn't make as many shots. You know, cut that in half, too. Like I said earlier, the defensive game plan was good. You held Shai under the 20. But just make down some shots. And also, when you think about it, whoever is on Chet, I would even try Maxi Kleber. And hopefully Chet's guard him to pull him out. Now you've got that ability for AR to go to work and drive, you know, Smart to drive and some other lobs. So, you know, sometimes you got to, you know, especially with Vando being out, you got to play
big
another
body
guy.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, we'll see you on Thursday.
I'll be here.
Lakers taking on OKC.
Excited.
I mean, I'll be at home watching y'all.
You'll be watching, though?
Yes.
Promise?
Promise.
All right. For James, Rob, Mike Trudell, I'm Chris McGee. We will see you on Thursday for Game 2.